Hey guys, so welcome to a Bermuda Triangle deck profile on my Riviere Ange deck. So I'll go into mainly what you need for a Riviere premium deck, but obviously this is my own little twist throwing Ange into it as well. So let's not waste any time and get right to it. So obviously best goal of the deck that kind of makes this thing work is Riviere. So basically, count plus one, you discard a card and draw two cards. So deck thinning is deck winning. And basically, other than that, you get to, when you attack, discard two cards and then Superior Ride another version of her, which obviously her CB2 ability, her CB1 drawing two allows her to get towards that ability easier and basically re-ride and re-stand. Basically re-ride a stand, which means force markers. Yeah, basically you keep stacking force markers, so it's pretty good. Now I do apologise that a lot of these cards are proxied and Japanese, but obviously, Anyway, Trois. So count plus one. Count 3 Trois. You want count plus one from hand, and you get to basically call her to the field, and then basically take a card from your hand, put it back to deck, and then you get to Superior Ride a top idol Riviere from deck. So let's go. It's basically your way of Superior Riding getting to grade 3. And if you happen to do it when you're already on a grade 3, you get to Superior Stride into her. But we'll get into that more as we go. If you're playing Riviere Pure, 4 of this. But since I'm running Ange, I can cut 1 because it's not the main thing. And then we have 2 Lucille and 1 Ange. Lucille is only in the deck for fetching, to fetch off Ange. Obviously, when Lucille is superior called by an effect, you give 3 units plus 5k. And this thing's obviously Ange's Soul Blast 1. Bounce one of yours and bounce one of theirs. Well, you actually can bounce 2 of theirs or whatever. But if you bounce, let's get the right wording for it. It's choose 2 cards in any player's circle, other than V. So you can't obviously target Vanguard. Return them hand. If one or more of your opponent's cards were returned, you can draw a card. So basically you want to at least return one of their cards so you can draw a card, and that will enable you to obviously, and then second effect, search for Lucille. It allows you hand advantage, obviously. It's good that it can target only circles, so you can get around Link Joker if you ever go against it. She's also got a GB2 Stride ability. When you discard cost Stride, it doesn't matter. They call it to the field as well, which is how you can trigger off Lucille's effect. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This deck has got a lot of old memories of Ange Trois, as it were, if you remember that deck. Super Idol Riviere. So her main reason for it is obviously she can restand if you have a Riviere that's... I'll get the exact wording for you. So when your Vanguard Riviere is in its card name, it's placed, you may stand this unit. So you're mainly using it you're going to trigger it off with your grade 3 top idol, basically. But it's good for some early game. And you can just use her effect from hand, drop her onto the Vanguard circle, and then just draw a card. So it can help with deck thinning as well, which is good. This score here, Shiratsuya, basically you go Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, and then you, let me get the exact wording for you guys. Choose up one card from your Soul with Shizuku. Right, so there we go. Basically Shizuku's your starter, and this goal allows you to get her back, which is good because it allows you to help search your draw. Obviously it's an old little thing you guys did play Ange Riviere back in the day. I mean, I never did, but my teammate Matt used to play it. We played it for Team League actually, in fact. And this is like what you do as the engine. It allows you to fetch this back, and you can Soul Blast. And and also you get to counter charge and soul charge. If you can soul charge a 0, you get a plus 5k. And even though it says once turn, it's not reliant just on the vanguard itself. You can do it on all the rearguard circles as well. So it's a soft once per turn if you want to go like Yu-Gi-Oh logic. But yeah, so it's per card, not per name. I don't know how to describe it, but I hope soft once per turn makes sense for you guys. If not, please do mention it in the comments, and I can maybe like mention maybe like give a better description in the comments section for you guys. But yeah, if you guys don't get what I mean, do post away. And then we've got Lissalet. Actually, Lissalet's just for gaining extra board, just simply board. And you can do a nice little combo with your G Guardian Citron. You can call Citron. So when you guard a Citron, you can call Lissalet from hand and get 2 units, which is quite nice. But yeah, it just helps with board and soul effectively. Okay, so we have what's the name of this one now? Mermaid Idol Riviere. Okay, right. So she's got an ability from hand that you can Soul Blast 1 to ride her from hand, and then she gets top 7. Just like an old ride chain, basically. You can add a Riviere, and in the back row she gets an extra 2k. If you have the starter for standard, which I obviously don't, you get to draw a card. This card kind of combos off with this. Basically, so Lissalet can count as a grade 1. So you call this, let's say we top deck a Lissalet. You soul charge it, right? And then basically that way you don't have to lose your Shizuku starter. And then you just re-ride. And and then get a top 7. Hopefully get a grade 2 if you're missing it. Obviously a grade 3 as well. So it's another way of getting more cards into your hand that you want. So it's really good card. Obviously combos off really well with Lucille as well. And now we have 6 PGs. So obviously this was run a lot in Ange Riviere. And I thought I'd give it a shot. I feel like it's got a lot of opportunities. I'm not sure if it's necessary. I played tested it enough to know that I enjoy it in a deck, and obviously with Ellie gone, it's nice to have more options for perfect guarding. But obviously against a rush deck like Ezel or whatever, I'm not going to do too well. I mean, at least I can keep guarding, but whether I have the hand to guard or not, I don't know. Same with Katrina. But this deck's not designed to go against the meta. It's more just designed for casual play. But at the moment, Aqua's working fine. She's very enjoyable to use. And it's been doing really well against Owen's Tachikaze. And obviously Tachikaze, his list is pretty much, apart from the fact he hasn't got Anger Blade, it's pretty much identical to the person who topped BCS London. So yeah, so at the end of the day, like I say, it's working well. And again, with the grade 1, if you If you want to, I wouldn't recommend it. You could, in theory, PG early. I don't know with that, but to put a card in. Oh yeah, I need to mention that actually. When you PG, you discard a card normally, but this one you put it into soul. I almost forgot about that, and that's actually one of the reasons it was used with Ange, particularly before. And then free Shizuku, basically, it's when in Harmony you get to check the top 5 and then add a grade 3. Again, another card that's not a hard once per turn, as it were, so it's par card. So if I call a Shizuku here and then call a grade 2 in front, let's say like Aqua, why not? I get to check the top 5 there, and then if this say like got bounced there, and then I call another Aqua here, let's say, or whatever unit, I get to again search, because it doesn't matter. It's it's not a hard once per turn. Basically, is the way I put it. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing that I picked up from Yu-Gi-Oh. So if you guys don't understand, I do apologize. I hope it does make sense. But basically, yeah, it's basically just a search out Riviere, Trois, and of course Ange, because Ange is best goal. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys, because I'm not entirely great at explaining it. Right, let's get going, shall we? So we've got Shizuku. Shizuku is count +1, and then you get put it in soul. And then look at the top 5 cards, add a grade 3. So basically, this is the part of the main reason why you run it, is while you can just get the extra draw of the other Riviere starter, personally I like the idea more of searching and trying to get to Trois and all that lot. And yeah, I think it personally is the better engine to go on. Obviously, if you do run the Riviere starter, you can't run Shiatsuya, you can't run like an engine to keep recycling and searching for the grade 3s. So it's up to you. It really comes down to what you want as a for a deck at the end of the day. So we're gonna. So we got her basically. Right, she's quite nice. Basically, she's GBT unit, so you can search your Ange. But also, the main thing is about her is that when you boost, you can counterblast 1 and return it to your hand, and double the power of the unit that you're using. And it can double the power anyway. But if you are boosting a GBT unit and you double, it also gets a critical, which is quite nice to use on Lucille. You can get some insane numbers off that. And then just leave her here actually, because then we've got 12 critical. Yeah, so hopefully you can see that perfectly fine. Hope so, no. But yeah, I'm running 12 crit at the end of the day. Like, it's really important, and obviously you've got to run the Premium Collection critical, because she enables you to, you go put her into the soul and then draw a card, which is quite nice. And this 10k power is also very nice. And then just 4 heal triggers. There you go. It's pretty standard trigger lineup. I'm really going for 12 crit. I know that Riviere is a very combo piece deck, and obviously you'd prefer draws at that point. I personally am going for more of a route where I want to really kill off my opponent quickly, which, you know, works. Okay, so basically we have 3 proxy Tiara. Basically, Tiara is like, so basically she's a restander at GB3, but the main reason why you want to run hers is for that restand, but she can put cards from on the board back to deck, which is very, very important. You want to make sure that you keep yourself from decking out. And obviously the restanding is extra ability. But what's also nice about her is that all chatter units in the front row get plus 5k per empty circle. So yes, you are only going to really use that with Lucille. However, herself gaining a lot of power for the second swing, with potentially also force markers underneath her, can make a very, very big threat to deal with. So at the end of the day, there we go. Good stuff. You can also use... let me just get that correct. You can use this crit with her, but she won't gain the extra critical. She'll just get double the power, but it's not worth it, to be honest. Save it for Lucille or like the Ange grade 4. But yeah, just thought I'd bring that out there. Then we've got 3 Riviere. So I know people run only 2. But basically with Trois, when you like I said with Trois, you can get to stride earlier on if you re-ride over a grade 3. Well, obviously make sure you're re-riding grade 3 over Trois' effect. But if you do want to use her skill later on, then you'll need an extra one of them, of her. And she basically gives 3 units 5k, and then she gets 10k in a crit by herself. But it's to each Riviere in the soul, and it doesn't... I've read it like a bunch of times, but it doesn't seem like... Yeah, it basically doesn't sound like to me... Yeah, so I just had to like double read it, but basically, you don't get. It doesn't matter like if it's a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So if you kept rewriting Top Idol Rivieres, you're gonna have the number in there, which is good, and we want that for any situation it could ever come up in. Okay, and then we've got 2. Sandy, basically from Premium Collection. You're not going to really do a full board of Harmony, to be honest with you, but it's fine just having a unit behind her and 2 other cars. You can do a small little column and it's fine. But yeah. It's just a small little attacks, but nonetheless it deck fends, which is good. And speaking of deck thing, we've got Shizuku. Shizuku basically allows you to count +1, unflip a copy of herself, and then you get to look at the top 5 cards and add 2 grade 3s or anything, basically grade 3 or Shizuku's, anything that has Shizuku in the name or grade 3. And you can also reveal a Shizuku in hand and any amount of them, and she'll get 5k, and it will guard restrict you because you cannot guard with those grades, which can be a nice potential killer and a good first stride. And then we have our final stride, which is our GB2 Ange, and this is another reason to use Poppy, not Poppy. Why do I keep calling her Pop? Oh, it's Popping. That's why I saw it. Layla, basically. And she's like allows you to double the power. Basically, what you want to do with this is CB2 bounce 7 rear guards that you get quad drive and gets 5k per one. The 5k doesn't matter if you do 7 or not, but like, you know. Also, it's obviously can be your opponents and yourselves. Usually just try and restrict 2 to your opponent and obviously your full board. Don't want to give them too much shield. And then yeah, getting the quad drive is quite lovely, and obviously you can double the power of her, which is good because she gets some big power. And if you use the Premium Collection crit, you can get some mad power with this. So definitely an amazing stride. This one here, basically put a Chacho unit back to from your field back to deck, gets 10k and counter charge. It's just to put Lucille back to deck, but honestly, she's not really that great. She's just there because I haven't got any other G guards at the moment. This G zone, by the way, obviously, I presume you've noticed, is not complete, and I do apologise for that. But it's what I'm working with, and I do hope to get a more complete version eventually. I just falling on hard times with money at the moment, so I can't invest, and I have well, got proxies. I didn't think to proxy for the G-Zone. So obviously I'll mention some things that you can add. Anyway, just quickly moving on, we've got Hand in Hand Leona. Basically bounce a card on the board and then you can guard with one from hand. If it's the same card as you bounce, it gets 5k. Basically usually use it just to guard, like to save certain cards and whatnot. It's quite useful. And then obviously, as you saw beforehand, is Citron. We've got 2 Citron. Core card from hand. And it gets 10k shield. If it's Listelet, you can get a top card of deck that you can call to the board or put in its soul. So there you go, something nice. We're going to quickly go on to like what I would do for the G-Zone. Obviously, you have the strides. So I've considered after playtesting taking out one of each of these for what was it? For the Megado and the I'm forgetting the Megalanka stride, the one that came out in Premium Collection, but probably those. And there's a unflipped G-Guard which I'd want to get 2 of. Which I'd take her out for, and I know while I do like this card, and I know people are playing it too, because of me personally, I'm thinking 1 is enough, to be honest. I've never had a situation where I felt I've actually wanted to go into those, so I'll probably replace those with the unflipped G-Guard that we got while I was back. Yeah, but that'd basically be my option, guys. Up to you what you do, but that's what I'll probably end up doing. Please do let me know in the comments what you think of that idea, and give me kind of your personal thoughts of how you do it for my G-Zone and whatnot. Kind of what I want to quickly cover. So it just kind of occurred to me. I didn't talk about something that just popped into mind, but obviously, as you know, I've got these lot. Just kind of really going back into it. If you don't want to run them, which is fine. Obviously, like I said, you want to make sure to run 4 Toile. And for these 3 here, I recommend running Caro. Caro is a perfect replacement for Ange. It's just because I really like Ange as a card, and that's the main reason why I'm doing it this way. But Caro is like my secondary waifu that I love. Really would love to SP the hell out of that card. But anyway, it's a really good replacement, and obviously since it can make really big numbers as well. So yeah, free Caro if you want to do it that way. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention. So obviously I know while this may be an Ange Ange Riviere deck, I obviously want to make sure that you guys are prepared for, you know, for building a Riviere deck anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of this deck, this kind of odd way of going about it, and maybe any way it could be improved. And if I did by chance in the video not mention certain cards that would be really good to run in just a pure Riviere deck, please do mention those down for those people who do want to just play the pure Riviere version. And like I always say, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in another video another time.